this video, the focus is put on some very special Rolexes. Let's hear the man.
Probably the most surprising discovery to the world of watch collecting is this chronograph reference 3330. The 3330 is the largest chronograph made by Rolex at the time. With a diameter of 38 millimeter, it's really still today a very properly sized watch. It was made in stainless steel, yellow gold and pink gold, and probably hardly 5, certainly less than 10 examples of each color is known today. This one here is mint. And when I say mint, I mean new old stock. The watch has never been worn. The watch has never been touched or polished by anyone since it left the workshops of Rolex in 1940. And the particularity of the gold model are the multifaceted lugs, sharp like a briolette diamond. It's never been polished or worn by anyone. This is what I think is the most perfect and most valuable vintage flat pusher chronograph I can think of. For the lovers of sports Rolexes, I believe the most beautiful Big Crown reference 6538, also nicknamed James Bond, that the auction market has seen in the last 10 or even more years. It's got a absolutely perfect, rich chocolate brown tropical dial. It is a 4-liner, and when you look at the colors between white, gold and silver, the 4 lines here at 6 o'clock are all printed in different colors. You have a wonderful original dome crystal, the original bezel with the red triangle, the correct insert, and a case in really outstanding condition. Now, the Big Crown has become world famous in the community thanks to James Bond using it in more than one movie. He uses it once to test if the Geiger counter works properly in Dr. No. And then at the very beginning of Goldfinger, you see him again using it when checking if the bomb that he planted minutes before goes up in time. I've had the privilege of selling it myself a few years ago, and it still stands as the highest price ever achieved at auction for a Rolex Submariner. The next one, of course, there has to be a Daytona, and if there is a Daytona, there has to be a Paul Newman in this sale, is the 6239 that I'm showing you here. I will just change the hands so you can see it. It's a wonderful 3-color 6239 Paul Newman, but not just any, but the one with the Linz retailer signature on the dial. Linz Brothers is Dallas's most established jewelry and watch shop since the 19th century. They have a long history and were also in the 20th century retailing some of the world's most valuable and distinguished names in Swiss and Geneva watches, notably Rolex. Linz, and that's an interesting fact to know, was also the jeweler of choice for a very famous client of the 1950s. His name was J.B. Champion, famous lawyer who owned the one and only platinum chronometer, observatory chronometer wristwatch that we call today the J.B. Champion. And I think it speaks for itself how important Linz were, the way they were granted the privilege to put their name underneath the Rolex logo on this Paul Newman. Something very different, but as important, if not more important, is this oyster in yellow gold with a outstanding cloisonné enamel dial made by Cadran Stern, the famous dial makers in Geneva. And it shows a dragon. It shows an incredibly beautiful dragon, very elaborate in colors of black, green and red. There's no Patek Philippe, no Vacheron Constantin, no Audemars Piguet cloisonné dragon. So it seems it was a very exclusive theme for Rolex. Pending the culture, the dragon means strength, wisdom, courage, fortune, true collecting value for anyone considering to add this to their collection.